So when you go to any sort of park or fair, usually you're going there for the fun rides. It's just kind of like the main selling point of going, is what everybody's super excited and hyped about. But in today's story time, somebody ended up getting kicked off of a ride for probably one of the stupidest reasons ever. I'm not going to wait any longer, so let's just get right into the story. Okay, so this takes place a little over 2 weeks ago as of the time of recording this. It was a Friday night, which is the day of the week when my friend group always makes plans to hang out. Everyone's got homework from Monday to Thursday, and they've got their jobs on the weekend, so Friday night is almost always the time when the friend group gets together to hang out. Now, that particular Friday, there was a fair happening not too far away from where I live, so me and my friends made plans to go to the fair together. Fairs are usually a lot of fun, so of course, we wanted to go to it. We wanted to check it out. Well, not everybody in the friend group could go that night because of their work and stuff. We did get around half the friend group to go to the fair, so there were 5 of us in total going. My mom actually offered to drive everyone, which was really nice of her and something I really do appreciate. So we pick up my 4 friends in the car, and my mom drives us over to the fair at around 6:30 and tells us that she'll be back at around 10:30 to pick us up. Once me and my friends I came with got into the fair, I actually noticed one of my old friends from when I was younger who moved away years ago. He's someone I've kept in touch with since he moved away, but we haven't really hung out that much. So he basically started hanging out with us for the rest of the night, which was fine with me. So now it was 6 of us instead of 5. We went on one ride with a couple girls that I'm friends with, who we actually made plans to meet up with prior to arriving. The ride was like a little thrill ride. We all really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. After that first ride, the girls went to go do a ride by themselves, and me and the boys went to go do another ride by ourselves. The plan was to meet back up after each of our specific rides. Anyways, so we went in line for our ride, which basically, here's what it was. The ride was a single row of about 20 or so seats that spun in a vertical circle extremely fast. Like the ride was around 30 to 40 feet tall, and you went up, left, down, right in all about 2 seconds. Point is, it's an extremely fun ride, and that's why we were all in line for it. Now, we were in line for a really long time for the ride, probably around like 45 minutes or so. It was an extremely busy night at the fair, so it made sense why the lines were so long, but it was still pretty frustrating. The worst part is that that wasn't even the worst line we were in that night. A little later in the night, there was one line where we waited like an hour and a half despite cutting over halfway through line. So yeah, the point is the lines at this fair were extremely long. Anyways, despite the lines being so long, we, or at least I, wasn't too bored. Me and my friends were just talking the entire time about different topics, joking around, having fun conversations. We were just passing the time until we got onto this ride. We were also occasionally saying hi to people that we knew who we saw in other lines. Now, once we finally got to the front of the line after about 45 minutes of waiting, which was far from the longest line I waited that night, something kind of annoying happened. So our group of 6 agreed that we'd all go on the same turn, and if there was room for only some of us, we'd all wait for the next one. Well, we didn't realize how many spots there actually were left because our line, or I mean our group, ended up getting cut right in half. 3 of my friends were able to get on the ride, and me and the other 2 friends had to wait, which wasn't really that big a deal, but still pretty annoying. Anyways, so my 3 friends are on the ride, they have fun, the ride ends, and now it's me and my other 2 friends' turns. So we get onto the platform where the ride starts, and me and my 2 friends sit in the first 3 seats. Now, one very important thing with this ride was the fact that you weren't supposed to pull the safety bar down until they pulled like an automatic thing for them all to drop. Me and a few other people admittedly made the mistake of pulling them down before they automatically did it, simply because we didn't know, or at least I didn't know. But the worker was cool about it, just simply let us know, hey, don't do that, and put all the safety bars back up using the automatic thing. Now, that should have ended there, right? That really should have been the end of the whole safety bar discussion. He told us not to pull them down. Surely everybody would listen, right? Right? Yeah, so clearly not everybody got the message, or else there wouldn't be a video on this. So there was this girl, I think was about 5 or 6 seats to my left on the ride. I'll just call her Emily for the video. That'll make things easier. She appeared to be a few years younger than me and my friends, so probably about like 14 or 15. And what this girl did was that she pulled down the safety bar a second time, despite what the workers said. Now, look, I'm just gonna say, if someone who has authority over you tells you specifically not to do something, it's probably best you don't do it. It's just kind of like common sense. If the worker tells you, hey, don't do this, you probably just shouldn't do it. Anyways, so the worker sees Emily pulling the safety bar down again, and he starts to get a little bit angry this time. He tells her in a more angry tone to not pull the safety bar down until the workers themselves do it. The worker was clearly getting a little bit mad at this point. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, oh, he shouldn't be getting mad at her, which, like, yeah, some professional, but this girl pulled the bar down after he directly told everyone not to. So, honestly, what did you expect? As soon as he told all of us to not put it down, I never did a second time because I realized that I wasn't supposed to. But this girl clearly ain't getting the message. Anyways, so as soon as the worker puts the seat up a second time, believe it or not, this girl pulls it down again. Obviously, she's probably just trying to be funny at this point, just trying to troll a little bit. Probably not a very smart idea. I don't think it's a very good move personally, but the worker does not find this funny whatsoever, and he actually yells at her to stop doing that. Now, at this point, you got two options. You can A, listen to the worker and not put the safety bar down anymore, or B, ignore the worker and continue being a disturbance to everyone on the ride. What do you think Emily picked? If you think that she listens to the worker and stopped, then you'd be wrong. Because after the worker does the auto thing for the bar to come back up, Emily decided it would be a great idea, an absolute genius move, to pull the bar down a fourth time. If you've been keeping track, that means she directly ignored the worker 3 times at this point, which, you know the saying, 3 strikes and you're out. You see, after she pulled the bar down a fourth time, the worker just had enough. He was tired of telling her not to do the thing that she kept on doing, so he told Emily to get off the ride. Now, if you're annoying the worker to the point where he asks you to get off the ride, you should probably just leave. Yeah, it sucks that you waited 45 minutes online. I do kind of feel a little bad there. Actually, no, I don't feel bad. But it's completely your own fault that you got kicked off. I mean, you kept doing what you were told not to do, so it's completely on you. Anyways, so Emily isn't exactly receptive to the idea of getting kicked off the ride, and of course, she tries to say, I waited so long in line for this ride, I'm not getting off. She tried that move, but I mean, come on. Like, if the worker told you not to do something so many times, and you just kept on doing it, like, you were given so many chances to prevent this, and you just didn't take any of them. Like, this is entirely on you, I'm sorry. Now, the worker was still extremely angry at Emily and kept on telling her over and over again to get off the ride. It was kind of just a back and forth, get off the ride! No, I'm not getting off! Just kind of like back and forth. And I think at this point, Emily realized that she was not winning this battle. The worker was not going to let her ride at all, no matter what. So she finally listens to the worker and just gets off the ride, never to be seen again. At this point, I was pretty relieved because this meant that me and my friends could finally go on the ride. And the ride did actually start almost immediately after that. It was a pretty fun ride, It was extremely enjoyable. The drops were kind of scary fun. Overall, just a great ride. After we got off, we did meet back up with our other 3 friends who got on the ride before this, and we told them all about what just happened with the girl who got kicked off. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's story time. If you want to listen to another one of my stories, here's another one on the end screen now.